All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on Babylon the Great and where Babylon the Great is, and speaking about how a lot of people pretty much don't know that America is going to be completely destroyed off the face of the earth, because anyone that's not an Israelite, right, or anyone that's a wicked Israelite, anyone that's pretty much not of the elect to the nation of Israel, they haven't got up. They don't think that America, as a country as a whole, has did anything wrong. Right? They don't think that it was evil, the slavery that we went into. They don't think that it was evil what happened to the Native Americans. They don't think it was evil that the whole land of America was stolen, and that our labor that we put in, as that our people put in, right, was worthy to be accepted in that land. And they think that it's okay for us to still, even though we put the most work in on that land, to be treated like garbage. And people can say, oh, you were slaves and you did that and all. They want to say, well, so what, man? So what? Whatever you people want to say, whatever excuses you want to have, it's not going to stop that place is going to be destroyed, man. And we wasn't only slaves when we did all that hard work either, because Israelites work hard right now, and to no avail, because we still get treated like garbage in this world anyway, man. And that's why the more that we're turning ourselves away from this wicked place, and we're only putting in the bare minimum to get necessities for ourselves, the more this place is crumbling and falling down, man. Now, first thing I'm gonna go into is a lot of people when you mention that America's Babylon the Great, the first thing that they'll say is, why doesn't it say America then? All right, so let's go to this, because people expect that the Bible is supposed to say things straight down the middle, so that there's no need for any kind of spiritual revealing on things, man, which is stupid, man. This is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Now, is there a place more abominable than America? America's literally got a city called Sin City. Isn't that the name of Vegas? Sin City? Is the place not called Sin City? Is that place not the main place that legalizes or makes it seem like it's good to do certain sins around the world? Is that not the place? Is that not the place that goes around telling other countries to allow LG alphabet stuff? Is that not the place? Is that not the place that promotes every single perverse lust that you could ever want to do in your life? Yes, it is. So for people to say that they don't understand why that place should get destroyed are stupid, man. Because Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed, didn't it? So why wouldn't America get destroyed? But this is just things that people that don't know the scriptures say, man. And a lot of you Christians really haven't read the Bible properly. You don't understand the Bible, and you don't understand the God that you believe in. Because the same people that are saying that God wouldn't destroy America, right? Obviously haven't heard that the same God that they're talking about destroyed every single person on the whole earth, right? Destroyed majority of the animals that was on the earth, and only saved 8 humans alive, and then brought two each of the clean and excuse me, two each, if I'm not mistaken, of the unclean animals, and then seven of the clean animals. So these people don't know nothing, man. But they just talk and speak and run their mouth, but they don't know what they're talking about. This is Matthew chapter 13 and verse 9. Who have ears to hear, let them hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? And he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So they don't understand these things, man. They can't read. They expect that the Bible is supposed to just say every single thing exactly as it is, clear as day, for them to be able to understand it, man. And that's why a lot of people don't even like reading the King James version of the Bible, because it's got the old English in there. Because they expect everything to just float and flutter, because they don't want to have to do any kind of research. They don't want to have to understand or have to do anything deep, man. They don't want to have to read, you know. They think that that's too difficult to read the Bible, as if Yahweh hasn't made it easier through the internet to make us be able to understand the scriptures anyway. And you people can try and find out and try and search out anything that you can say that we've did that's evil in our lifetime, right? But if we're of the elect, no matter what evil crimes a man's did, right? If he's of the elected nation of Israel, Yahweh's going to justify him, man. And you people that might have thought that you was living more righteous, you're going to be destroyed because you wasn't justified by the Lord. And there's many other things that I'm thinking to say about you people as well, but I'm gonna stick to this point, and I'll do a separate lesson on that. So this is this is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So what that's saying is that that place, America, right, whichever place Babylon the Great is, right, is going to be completely destroyed off the face of the earth, and that place is America, right? Now, when you go reading the scripture further, you understand these things. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Now, Esau's got a thing that he calls diplomacy, which is pretty much where he goes around the world sticking his nose in other people's business, man. And America is the #1 country. If you look it up, that's considered the #1 country for doing that, man. For doing diplomacy, so-called diplomacy. Verse 4, and I heard another voice, Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plague. So, and that coming out of her starts in the mind, man. It starts with taking yourself out of that way that place is in the mind, man. And it can be difficult, but it's something that is necessary to do, man. For all of us, for me, for you. Verse 5, and then we're going to be then specific Israelites are going to be taken out of there literally. They're going to literally be taken out of there. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. So God remembered all the things that America did, man. God ain't forgot the delectable Negro where he was eating Israelites. Yahweh ain't forgot that. He ain't forgot book breaking. He ain't forgot all the things that he did to the Israelite woman and the psychological damage that's still on her now to this day. He ain't forgot all of that, man. Because the Israelite woman right now is a demon. Right? The majority of the Israelite women right now are demons. But who's the reason that they're so demonic, man? Is it not because of the psychological damage that Esau put on them? Is it not because of what happened to them in America and several other places in the world? But America was the foundation. America was like the template of how to do an Israelite dirty, man. America was like it was like a manual. If you want to do it Israelite grimy, if you want to do it Israelite dirty, watch how we do it. We'll show you how it's done. That's what America's been on the earth, man. Doesn't the scripture say Babylon have been a golden cup? Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, with which he made the whole earth drunken. Is America not the main country that goes around the world telling everybody else what to do, putting sanctions on people? Aren't they the ones that do that? Let me carry on reading. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 6. Reward her even as she hath rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And what's one of the main reasons why America, which is Babylon the Great, thought that they would see no sorrow? Well, I looked it up, right? And what I found is that America has got the largest army in NATO, man, right? And which that's not really a difficult thing for people to know, but we have to go into the amount of money that they spend, man. The US military budget in 2020, from what I've read, was 778.23 billion, right? 778.23 billion, man. So if you're spending that much money on war, you're a demon, and because of the sword and because of weapons, you think you can tell everybody else what to do, man. And that's why the look of America is more stout than their fellows, because they know that they've got the biggest army in the world, man. They got the biggest army in the world, and because of that, they've been able to tell everybody else what to do. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 8. Therefore shall a plague come in one day, death and mourning, famine and sorrow. Excuse me, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord who judgeth her. And how is she going to be burned with fire? All the other nations that was confederate with America, all the other nations that was confederate with America are going to shoot fire on America, man. They're going to send nuclear missiles on America and destroy that place off the earth, man. Because even still right now, it's becoming more and more evident that America is the main country that always wants to tell everybody what to do. America is the main country that's a problem with world peace. And who's in charge of America? Esau, right? The Idumeans are in charge of America. They're in charge, man. They're running things. Verse 10, standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise anymore. Now, on that scripture where it speaks of no man buying her merchandise anymore, I looked it up, right? America has got the largest imports. It's at number 1 in the world, and it's got a population of 329 million, right? China's second, right? But China's got 3 times plus the population of America, man. So America is bringing in goods from all around the world much more than a country that's got 3 times as many people, man. America's got 329 million plus people, and China has got 1.4 billion, if I'm not mistaken, 1.4 plus billion. Yet for some reason, America's got the biggest imports in the world. America's buying more goods around the world than anybody else, man. Yet people will say America's not Babylon the Great. How? How can it not be? Of course it is, man. You people only say that because you love America and you want to try and get some kind of American dream. And but I don't know if you've noticed, but it only was a dream, right? This place is done, man. Verse 12. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and fine wood and all manner of vessels and ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron. So that place just had all types of goods, man. Let me jump down to verse 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, Alas, alas, that which city is like unto this great sea? And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich. Right? If there's a company, America's been pretty much the biggest customer of the whole world, man. And that's what people don't understand. America's been the biggest customer around the whole world. Just imagine if you're running a company that sells burgers, right? And there's like 25 obese people around your area that they buy 20 burgers a day, and you've become rich off that person. If you hear that they died and had a heart attack, you might be sad, but you won't be sad because the person died of a heart attack. You might just be sad because the person can't buy your burgers no more because they're not alive. You might not necessarily have cared about that person, just like how the world don't really care about America. They just knew that America was a big customer of the things that they sold, and that's why they're gonna be sad that that place is destroyed, man. We were made rich, all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. So that's all it's gonna take for that place to be destroyed, 1 hour. Now on the other side, there's gonna be other people that are gonna be celebrating America being destroyed. Verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God have avenged you on her. So the elect are gonna praise Yahweh for destroying that place, man. They're gonna be happy. They're gonna be happy, man. Verse 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Let me go to some more scriptures on this place, on this Babylon the Great. Let's go into the Old Testament. So look here. Isaiah chapter 13. Because some people say, oh, this has happened already and all that in Isaiah 13. Yeah, right, man. You people just don't want nothing to happen, nothing biblical to happen, man. And they've got the nerve to claim that you believe about the Bible, but say such statements as Bible times, or in Bible times, huh? Is there not prophecies that still need to be fulfilled? So it's always Bible times, because it's all, the world's always under Yahweh's jurisdiction, man. Doesn't it say in the scriptures that he giveth the kingdom unto whomsoever he willeth? Doesn't it say that? This is Isaiah chapter 13. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 18. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare the widow, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, tell me that America isn't the glory of the king of kingdoms on the earth. There's no other country in the world that gets given a dream. There's no place that gets told there's an English dream. There's no such thing as an English dream. There's no such thing as making it in Britain. There's a saying making it in America though. There's a saying the American dream. There's not no such thing as a Spanish dream, is there? There's not no such thing as a there's not even no such thing as a Dubai dream. Oh, I'm trying to live the Dubai dream. No, nobody don't say that. They say the American dream though. They say they're trying to get the American dream because that's the glory of kingdoms. People try and make it big in America. If someone's got a talent or some kind of skill, they show that talent off at the most peak way that they can show that talent off is if they go to America. It's not nowhere else. No actor or no musician tries to make it big. If they're from America, they don't say, I'm going to leave America and try and make it big in England. They'll leave England and try and make it big in America. And they'll think that they've made it if they become more famous and more well known in America. And they'd rather be known well more in America than be known where they're actually from. Because that means that they're going to get more wealth if they're known in America. And everyone knows this. So how can people still play stupid when they hear us say that America is Babylon the Great? But anyway, back onto this. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Verse 20. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Now, everyone knows, and everyone says that ancient Babylon was Iraq. People are over there right now. It's inhabited, right? It's not inhabited, it's habited. People live in there. Everyone accepts this. People live in Iraq right now. But after what God does to America, he's done. Nobody's gonna live there no more. No humans are gonna live there anymore. It's gonna be like crazy, weird animals that can live in a like crazy, some mad habitat, man. For animals that like hardly need any water and all that kind of stuff. Verse 20, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places, and her time is near to come, and her days and her days shall not be prolonged. So America's getting ready to be an inhabitable place, man. You've got people that are playing around saying that America's an organization and all this kind of stuff. Well, America isn't. Saying Babylon the Great isn't an organization. America's an organization. What are you talking about? America's a business. America's like a big prison, man. And I ain't never been there. Neither would I want to. But I wouldn't mind being in a chariot looking down at the flames on it, though. I wouldn't mind that. Jeremiah chapter 49. Jeremiah chapter 49. No, not that. Let me just 1 second, Salakia. Yeah, I'll read this. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 17. Also, Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall hiss at the plagues thereof, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh of hosts. No man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. So isn't that the same thing that God spoke about Babylon the Great, and that he spoke of in Isaiah the 13th chapter? Because it's all talking about the same thing. Because America is associated heavily with the Edomites. Babylon the Great is associated heavily with the Edomites, man. With the Idumeans, with Amalek, right? With Jacob's twin brother. It's heavily associated with that, man. Now let me get one more. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 13. Because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at the plagues thereof. So that's again the same prophecy, man. It's the same thing waiting to happen. And everyone says that ancient Babylon was Iraq, but people live there right now. People live there right now, man. But you Edomites, man, right? You're scared, you're proud, you try and act like you know what you're talking about. You try and keep that like happy face in public. But when you start hearing the word of the Bible, man, and when a Hebrew Israelite starts talking with a Christian, right, the Christian's going to become silent long before the Hebrew Israelite's going to become silent, because the Christian don't know the Bible for real. They've only got a certain amount of rhetoric that they can spew off, man. But we can go into the Bible. We can go into the Bible, find things that are written in the Bible and apply it to the earth. They can't do that. They just say that everything's spiritual. Oh, that bit there is spiritual. And it's funny how they might have never heard a Bible verse ever in their life, but then they got the breakdown on it as soon as they start reading it. Like you might ask them, does the Bible say that the Israelites was cursed? And they'll say, oh, I don't have an answer for that right now. And then you'll read it to them and show them where it says it. And then all of a sudden they're trying to give you the break. Oh yeah, but that bit's obviously clearly spiritual. Hang on. You didn't know about it before. You never heard that in your life. So how now all of a sudden have you got the flipping, what's the word that these bogats use, man? These exegesis or whatever their bullshit BS they be saying, man. How they suddenly can exegete it or whatever they say. Somehow they now can exegete it. Somehow now they can do all that, but they never heard the scripture before until that day, until that minute. They never heard the scripture, but now they think, well, you can't possibly have the breakdown on that because you're a nigger. That's what they think. So let me put some the white man's burden on that for you. You know, let me put my Caucasian spin on that, because you can't possibly know with that dark skin and that woolly hair. You could never know. So let me civilize you, you uneducated savage. That's what they think in their mind, man. But they're the savage, clearly. But that's what they think, man. Let me get another one. He's again talking about the same prophecy. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 39. Therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and owls shall dwell therein, which is what it said in Revelation 13 as well. And Revelation 18 and in Isaiah 13. Therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein, and it shall no more be inhabited forever. Neither shall it be dwelt from generation to generation. Isn't that the same thing what I read in Revelation 18? Because it's talking about the same thing. Isn't it the same thing that was spoken about regarding Edom in Jeremiah 49? Because it's the same thing, man. It's the same place. It's the same event that's being spoken of by several different prophets. Verse 40, as God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. So I don't know what these people are talking about, man. Verse 41, in fact, In fact, you know what? I'm not gonna read that. I'm just gonna stay on the point, man. But yeah, America's Babylon the Great, man. Right, and it's gonna be destroyed off the face of the earth as well. And the Israelites are gonna celebrate when that happens. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.